This convicted murderer, Adam Montgomery, who killed his 5-year-old, disabled, sweet, beautiful daughter, Harmony Montgomery, who was blind in one eye. He admits to bashing her around, causing a black eye. Harmony couldn't compete with his size. Harmony couldn't compete with his strength. Harmony couldn't compete at all. She had half the vision he had. She didn't see all those hits coming, did she? She didn't have the vision to see it. She didn't have the strength to fight back or the size to conquer and get away. She was his victim. And she was from the moment the state of Massachusetts gave this career, dangerous, violent criminal, Adam Montgomery, custody of his precious daughter, Harmony, whom he had only spent very few hours with throughout her 5 years prior to being awarded custody. He wants a new trial now, this convicted murderer, based on 3 reasons, and we're going to break them down. This is Crime Time Buzz. Welcome back in. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. Welcome in if you're a first timer with us. Hit that subscribe. Join our Crime Time family. We're friendly, close, and we really are like a family. Thank you so much for being here. Well, Adam Montgomery wants a new trial. He has not admitted guilt to unaliving his sweet daughter, Harmony. He has admitted guilt to the second-degree assault, the abuse of a corpse, witness tampering, falsifying physical evidence, but not second-degree murder. He has been convicted of all. He has filed an appeal with the New Hampshire Supreme Court, second-degree murder, second-degree assault. He was charged, found guilty with both. In his appeal, his point is those should have been tried separately, not together. Also, there's a police body cam when they finally find Adam Montgomery and they're looking for Harmony, and it lasts about 15 minutes, and there is audio to it. He did not want the audio played in the trial, and it was muted, but it was shown. Now, what the jury missed is in the audio when they were trying to do a well check for Harmony, Adam kept saying, "I have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say to you." Of course, he didn't want the jury to hear that, correct? But now he is upset that they even saw the video. Also in that video, he says that he took Harmony to her mother, Crystal Sorey, in November of 2019, which was just not true. In November of 2021, 2 years after that, yes, Harmony was missing for 2 years and no one knew, except, of course, Adam and Kayla, his wife. So he was supposed to bring Harmony in November of 2021 to see Crystal, the mother, who had struggled with addiction and had sobered up, done the work. He didn't show up. She called him on Facebook. He blocked her, so she filed a report with the police. The police believe Harmony passed away about December 7th, 2019, 2 years prior to that. So let's just get to it. It's a very sad and triggering case. And if you don't know the case of Harmony Montgomery, I'll break it down a little bit as we're learning what Adam does, what the appeal went, what the points of the appeal. There are 3 that went before the New Hampshire Supreme Court, and they still have not made their decision. It could take weeks. So they're upset that the body cam was even shown. Also, Kayla Montgomery, his wife, testified, and she testified a lot about things that occurred pre-death of Harmony, December 7th, 2019. And they believed that there was too much of that and it prejudiced the jury. Well, what it really did indeed do is showed a pattern of his violent behavior, his horrible anger, and his just contempt for Harmony. So those are his points for appeal, and we're waiting to hear. This happened October 15th, 2025, just recently, 5 days ago. Okay. Harmony was 5 when she actually went missing. Excuse me. Harmony was in and out of foster care for most of her life. Her mother, Crystal Sorey, was an addict, and her father was a career violent criminal with a very violent, dark past. He was even in jail when Harmony was born. Look at that little sweet pea. Wearing her glasses, she is blind in one eye. Her favorite color is purple. Well, Crystal, her mother, this is Harmony and Crystal together. Crystal decided to go in and get cleaned up. She has Jameson, which is Harmony's little half-brother, and Harmony, and they were in and out of foster care for most of their life. Harmony took good care of Jameson. Jameson's was with a couple when she went in to get cleaned up, who eventually did adopt Jameson and wanted to adopt Harmony, but Adam ignored them. So she went in to get cleaned up, and the one thing she asked, because she couldn't be there, was, do not give my daughter to her father. She doesn't know him, and he's dangerous. Well, a Massachusetts court granted custody of Harmony Montgomery to her father, Adam Montgomery, in 2019. This decision is central to the criminal case against Adam for her murder, as she disappeared shortly after. So he fought for custody, and shortly after all the beatings and the black eyes, she was gone. Shortly after, the custody order was granted and was not reported missing until November of 2021. An investigation found that the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families failed to adequately assess Adam before the custody was granted. You think he has a very, like I said, long, going back from when much younger. The custody award was made despite Adam having been incarcerated for a significant portion of Harmony's life and not having a strong record of involvement with her. An Office of the Child Advocate, excuse me, y'all, Advocate report indicated the DCF did not complete a thorough assessment of Adam and failed to present a strong case to oppose custody. So he scoops up this little girl who, as Crystal says, the mother, he doesn't like because she reminds him of her. And he terrorizes her, abuses her. She's cleaning bathrooms with toothbrushes. She's getting in trouble if the baby cries. And then if she puts her hand over the mouth of the baby because she's afraid for Adam to punish her for the baby crying, she gets bashed around the house. A very terrible failure by DCF. And off to New Hampshire she went, where, as we know, the states do not communicate well with each other. So Crystal cleans up, gets out, he doesn't show up, and she files a police report in November of 2021, about 2 years after they believe Harmony was murdered by Adam. But that's when they begin looking. They make contact with Adam. At that time, they were all living in the car because they had been evicted. Also, Harmony, when she passed away, they were residing in the vehicle because they had been evicted. It's a very terrible life. This is Harmony's stepmother. Now, I'm showing you Kayla Montgomery because she becomes pivotal. First of all, this is what Kayla looked like. They were very strung out on drugs, this couple. As a matter of fact, the day Harmony died, he had smelled urine because she was starting to wet herself from nerves, abuse. We know how it goes, right? He smelled the urine. He was driving. He was turning around, hitting her with her fist on her head. Kayla, this stepmother, was in there. The car, too. Harmony sitting next to her two little half-brothers. Kayla said she was crying and making moaning noises until she wasn't. And that's when Adam said, I think I might have done something this time. What did they do? They covered her up and went to get food at Burger King. And don't forget, they needed some hits for their drugs. So this is what the stepmother looked like when she was picked up. This is what time away from drugs, not being able to access them, will do. Look at the difference. Here she came in line for him. Excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm still have a little bit of that in my throat. She came in line for him and eventually got immunity and told the story of the abuse. And that is one of the points of the appeal, because he feels that she slighted the jury against him by giving so much information. When Harmony died, they were living in the vehicle. She was wetting herself. I mean, I'd be afraid to tell him I needed to go potty. He'd probably get mad, right? How does she win? Mad if she tells him, mad if she doesn't. The poor angel. Harmony's body still hasn't been found. Kayla's testimony told and aligned with the forensics that police had found, stating that he killed her that day. He put her into a duffel bag. Their car had broken down too, by the way, so he had to move her into the bushes. They went into different places, like they were in an apartment. They kept her in a cooler in the hallway. I believe that was her mother's apartment complex. Then when they were in a shelter, he put her in the ceiling. And they were able to find what looked like decomposition in the sheetrock in the ceiling. He moved her around, and then when they were at another apartment, he locked him. He went into the bathroom because remember her body was frozen, because he also put her in a freezer at a restaurant that he had worked at, moving her around in this duffel bag, right? Well, he wanted to move her to a smaller bag. So he took her into the bathroom, put her in the bathtub, tried to thaw her out with hot water, using a saw, you know what I'm going to say, to get her into this little bag. And then he poured lime in it so she would disintegrate even more. And this is what they believe Harmony is still in. So if you ever see a bag like this, I believe they said in New Jersey, he tossed her over. So he did all that in the bathroom to get her to a smaller size. But they were able to find things in the ceiling vent at the shelter, and blood and smell in the refrigerator that he kept her in the cooler, things like that. So Kayla's testimony did align. So this man who beat his blind and one-eyed daughter, 5 years old, who loved to giggle, loved the color purple, loved helping her little brother, whose little brother's dads were adopting him. They were asking Adam if they could adopt her too, and Adam ignored them. He wanted to abuse her. He wanted to kill her. The police publicly announced the search and $150,000 reward on December 31st, 2021, and they set up a tip line. This is the Manchester police, and remember, they find out she's been deceased for 2 years. Last time an outsider had seen her, someone other than Kayla and Adam, was Thanksgiving of 2019. And by the way, those 2 years before anyone realized she was missing, Adam and Kayla were still getting the welfare benefits for Harmony in her name. Fraud. Crystal, in November of 2021, when he didn't show up for that scheduled visit, she, now sober, confronted him on Facebook. He blocked her as he was blocking many people, and she contacted Manchester Police November 18th, 2021, and filed the missing persons. They believe Harmony Montgomery died December 7th, 2019. Do you think Adam will get a new trial? Do you think Adam should get a new trial because the assault and the murders were tried together, one leading to the other? The assault is he was beating her on her head with her fist until she moaned and then stopped and said nothing. They covered her up, did some drugs, and ate some Burger King before folding her into the duffel bag. Because he didn't report anything, and Crystal did in November of 2021 when they made contact with him, and he said, I don't want to say anything to you guys. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. He didn't want the jury to hear that. He didn't want the jury to hear. He said he drove her to her mother's 2 years before that. So they didn't hear it. But now he's upset that they saw the body cam. Okay. And he also believes that Kayla, she was able to share too much leading up to the death of Harmony, which prejudiced the jury. What do you think? Leave me a comment if you would. We will wait to hear what the Supreme Court of New Hampshire decides. Will Adam Montgomery get a new trial? And if he does, we will be watching it here together. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the Supreme Court decision. And until next time, keep keeping on and stay safe, my friends. Thank you so much.